Jazz, how are you, Jazz?
Man, it's been a rough week. I'll just leave it at that.
I I couldn't agree with you more, man. It's been a minute. Um, I don't know. I don't know. The show must go on, so I figured, we'll come down here. We'll talk a little bit about what's some of the stuff that's going on. Um, it's very strange. Um, I've had a very good weekend, but it's weird to have a good weekend at times like this. It's like it takes a little bit of like cognitive dissonance to enjoy yourself when so much like stuff is going on in the world at the moment.
Right.
It's a little rough.
I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel helpless. I feel powerless to do anything, and I'm expected to just live my life normally, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it in not just like me, but a lot of my friends too. Like I've seen my friends posting a lot and I'm like checking up on them. I'm like, yo, make sure to take some time out for yourself, have like a mental health break because it can get very overwhelming with all the stuff that's going on right now.
yeah. With a couple of my friends and we may go to the beach on like Wednesday just because I don't know what else to do right now. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like for me, it's I got to go to Comic Con this week, this Thursday, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of my mutuals, little TikTok mutuals there, and people who are into comic culture and all that stuff. And I bought a lot of cool art, and it was a good time. And then you go and you enjoy yourself, and then you come home, and then you scroll through TikTok and Instagram, and all you see is like all this bad news, with what's going on in Palestine and what's going on all over the world, even here in the U.S. with hate crimes being at an all time high, and then you just kind of fall into this like despair. Like I don't know, I, I picked a really bad week to get off of my medication.
I had to get off. Like, I am prescribed Adderall, right?
Yeah,
And normally it works great for me because it helps me concentrate, helps me work.
yeah,
But this week, man, like every time I took it, I was just so focused on, global events that I ended up getting anxiety from it.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's just a weird time and a weird place to be with it.
For me, it came at like the worst time because, as you know, I'm supposed to be on a social media hiatus. Like I'm not supposed to be tweeting things. I'm not supposed to be on Instagram. Um, and I wasn't even using my real name on the podcast for the last few weeks. And
Right.
today I have my full legal name on here because I just don't give a shit anymore. I was, uh, I'll just tell people because I don't care anymore. But I was in the running to be on a reality TV show, and they did a social media background check, and I had to make sure I have everything, clean and nothing silly. Um, and then like I was just like posting stuff, and then like deleting it afterwards, and then I was just like, this is silly. Um, and I was just like, I don't know, I just felt guilty not doing enough. So I was just like, fuck it. If I'm not meant to be on the show, I'm not meant to be on the show. So I just kept posting on it. And then I got shadow banned. I couldn't post things anymore on Instagram. I have
Well,
23,000 followers, and I would post something. It wasn't even like close to being anti-Semitic. It was actually uh, a gathering of Jewish people in Brooklyn saying
oh, the thousand
supporting,
people, yeah.
yeah, supporting Gaza. And I was like, there's no way this could be anti-Semitic. This can't be anything. Like this, literally Jewish people protesting for the people of Gaza. Um, yeah, after half a day, like 12 hours, I have 23,000 followers. After half a day, try to guess how many views it had.
23,000. What do you normally get?
I would it's in like, I would say most of my videos they're in the thousands, like 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 sometimes.
Okay. So then I would say half. So let's say 2,500, 1,200, whatever the half of whatever post it is.
No, I got four.
4,000?
Yeah, no, four. Like one, two, three, four. Like the
What?
numbers on my fingers. Yeah, half a day, 12 hours. Um, my videos were on up there, and I got four views, half a day.
Holy shit, you got hit hard.
Yeah, yeah, they shadow banned me real hard. And then I think from 23, I think I'm down to like 22. I think they also lost like 1,000 followers. So I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. They're which like whatever. I don't care. But like people, if it's happening to me, it's got to be happening to other people too.
For sure. Like I can't imagine like, Omar Suleiman who's constantly posting everything about Gaza and then, he has one of the biggest followings in the country and suddenly he's gonna be down to like 200 or whatever. Like,
It's
dear God.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
it's it's insane. But luckily, I have some friends who work at Meta, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to report this for you." So I'm like, "All right, great." So I gave them my link. I gave them my information. So I'm
Did it
like,
get
"Yeah, man."
fixed?
No, it didn't get fixed, but I don't know. They have it. I don't care if it gets fixed. I care if somebody gets in trouble for it. Whoever's doing it, I hope they get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, you know what I think it really is, man? I know people are like, oh, don't update Instagram, don't do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
What I really think happened is that there were enough reports and they just lost control of the algorithm.
Hmm.
I think the AI is just like, oh, yeah, no, I see red, green, black, stop. And
Yeah.
because it was reported, maybe it's like, things that really should not be on Instagram, like, actual violence being shown.
Yeah. I didn't show any violence. Like I haven't shown
Right,
any
but I
violence.
think enough of it was reported that where the algorithm picked up, like, hey, if you see these colors in this pattern, full stop. And I think Meta just cannot control the algorithm right now. I think it's just running wild on shadow banning by itself.
Yeah, people have made recommendations. They're like, "Hey, don't repost stuff. Just take a screen cap of it and post it." Sometimes that works. So there's a bunch of tricks that you can do, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things. But I did go to the Mosquers Film Festival, so that was a lot of fun, and I wanted to talk about it because it was really really cool. The movies there were so good. Like literally every movie I watched there made me cry. It
Oh,
was
wow.
pretty solid. Like I went maybe like 2 years ago. Uh and basically, there was like one or two like really good movies, like really professional. This year like every single one was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like they're like up there with like I wouldn't say like polite society, but definitely like the quality of like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because these
They're
short
good,
stories
but you
were
can
so
tell it's
different.
indie. I get it.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's not the fact that you could tell it's indie because some of them are like one of them is incredible. The one that won could be like a Wes Anderson film. It's just so well done.
Oh, wow.
I want to go through them because they're all so cool.
Well, real
Um,
quick, before we
yeah.
get into that, let's check out the comments. Polar Knights is asking, is that flag behind you from one of the Indian provinces?
Is that with the Pakistan flag?
I don't know which flag he's talking about, but yeah, no, that's definitely the Pakistan flag.
Oh yeah, or let me talk about my hat. My hat is from an Indian company, I think, from like Canada. That's probably an Indian province of like Punjab. The map, the whatchamacallit, the flag is Pakistan.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah,
Yep.
he's from North Norway. Good morning to you, sir.
Ooh, cool. Norway. Welcome, welcome. All right, listen. This festival is insane. So, basically the
No
city
worries.
of Edmonton. Yeah, no worries, man. Basically the city of Edmonton gets they give grants to people to put together events for like, culture and diversity, and also like bring like, boost the economy in there, kind of like how Tribeca does it, and the ones in like Nevada. I forgot what that one is called. Do you remember what that one's called? Sundance.
Sundance.
Sundance, right? Yeah. So like those like boost the economy and stuff. So everyone comes in for that. So they're trying to do something like that. But they were nice enough to fly me out there. They were nice enough to put me in a hotel, give me access to events and free food and like box gifts and a t-shirt and all this cool stuff, man. So like they're very professional and they know their shit. They do a lot of cool stuff. And the movies this year were incredible. I cried every single movie, bro. Every movie I cried.
Are
um
these movies going to be released somewhere? Because I would love to watch them.
One of them is going to be turned into a feature film, I believe, and they're trying to get funding for that.
Aw,
Oh, April's
that's really
here.
neat.
Hey, April.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Hi,
checking up
April.
on us. Hopefully you're doing well too. We wanted to check in on you too. We haven't had you on the podcast for a little bit, but once you're all, all set, we would love to have you back for the Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. Um, all right. So I want to talk about some of these movies. I want to talk about the people who do them and some really cool networking stuff that happened. So like I went to this networking event they have like for like creators and stuff like that. And
Okay.
met this guy. I kind of recognized him. His name was Uzair. I made him go viral. I made him go viral. And I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey man, you don't know me, but I made you go viral."
How did that turn out?
What? He was like looking at me like it was like the strangest thing ever. He like, "Yo, did we have beef? Did we have fight?" I was like, "No, you posted a cemetery on the show Superman and Lois." He works on the show Superman and Lois. And there was a scene of soldiers, army soldiers. And army soldiers, they're like usually all have like, Christian cemetery and Christian like logos on there, right? He went out of his way to put some Pakistani, or not Pakistani, but like Muslim soldiers in there and have like the Star and Crescent on their gravestone. So
Hmm.
like I made a video saying, "Oh, look how like inclusive this is. This is super random and strange in a show with almost like no Muslim people on it. But like the cemetery seems to have like, Muslim people in it. Which that was really cool. And it also implied that they were in the army, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's not
Uh
implied. It's confirmed they're in the army.
yeah, they're in the army. And I made a video of it, and the guy ended up using his own name at one of the graves. So like I looked up I looked up his name, and I was like, "Oh, he's a set designer. He designs the sets. That makes sense." So took a little picture of him and I posted up there, and it went viral. It went viral on TikTok. He got like 1 million views, I think, like on Instagram too. I tagged him on it. His co-stars all tagged him in it, and stuff like that. So it went viral, and he was like, "Oh my god, I have such an amazing story to tell you." He was like, "Because of your like TikTok, I got a call from HR." And he was like, "I thought I was gonna get fired." I thought I was gonna get fired for doing that because nobody gave him permission to do it. He kind of just went off on his own and just like Leroy Jenkins and kind of just did it on his own because he was just like, "I don't know, fuck it, man. Like, what are they gonna do?" So he was like he's scared. He's like, "Oh shit, they're gonna fire me." They actually like congratulated him and complimented him on like inclusion and like do like WB actually gave him like a shout out. They were like, "You did such a great job."
Okay.
That's so cool. And the fact that like my video is what got him that recognition.
Dude, amazing. This is what it's all about. This is why we
Yeah.
do what we do.
And he's such a nice guy. He's worked on so many great projects and stuff like that. And he is dying to come on our podcast. So he will definitely be on the podcast soon. So that'll be really cool. He has
Wonderful.
so much experience. Someone says I don't like the Superman in tights. It is not my thing. Yeah, now he's yeah. I mean, he still wears tights, but at least he doesn't have the red underwear anymore. They got rid of that. But that was really cool,
Probably
man.
for the
So
best.
yeah, probably. But yeah, I can't wait to have Uzair on our show. Me and him hung out quite a bit. We had a good time. Um, and then I met a bunch of other people. Yo, a lot of people listen to our podcast in Canada. That's why I actually hit up Jazz. But yo, Jazz, what the fuck is our analytics in Canada? Because I was like, how do all these people know about us? Like, how do people watch us? And like, I don't know. It was really cool. Plus, I've been on an episode of the Halal Gap, which is like their podcast, right, in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been on their episode, and then I guess because of that, the Halal Gap guys, Sikander and Sophia came on ours. But no, there's a lot of them that listen to us religiously, which is really, really cool. And shout out to them, man. I love that. A lot of people came up to me saying they love my TikToks or they love our podcast. And a lot of them brought you up, Jazz. They're like, why didn't Jazz come? Where's Jazz? Why isn't Jazz here?
Jazz had to work. I am so sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, we got a question in the comments. So, what is Mosquers? So, Mosquers stands for Muslim Oscars. So basically, take the word Muslim, you take the word Oscar, you put it together, you get Mosquers. So basically, it's a competition of short movies, and the only rules of short movie is they have to be some Muslims involved in the movie, either producing, directing, acting. So that's really just like, or the story takes, it's Muslim based, the story. That's it. That's what the Mosquers is, and it's really cool, man. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna go over here. The only thing that's annoying about it, last time they were in March, this year they're in October. It fell on the same weekend as Comic-Con, so I had to split Comic-Con and Mosquers, and that broke my heart. That was tough for me to do, but I love them, so I did it for them. But that was rough.
I can totally get it, man. Like, because I was supposed to come up to New York this week too, but just didn't
Yeah,
work out for anything for me. So,
yeah,
and for those wondering, Canada actually represents 8% of our podcast audience. I haven't checked the live stream audience, but yeah, we got a pretty big following in Canada, and
yeah.
majority of it is from Ontario. It's about half, and then about a quarter from Alberta, a quarter from British Columbia, and then like 1% split among other provinces
That's
in Canada.
cool.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who were at the Moscow were actually from Ottawa. Like a good chunk of them were from Toronto, so that makes sense. But it was really cool, man. I love meeting people who actually like listen to our podcast and stuff like that. It's super cool. I had a great time. The food they got me was good. Sikander and Sophia and their team, they do such a great job. In fact, I lost my wallet and they found
Well
it and
done.
gave it. Yeah, I'm such an idiot, bro. I literally lost my wallet. I had to go looking for it. All right, so let's talk about all the movies that they did. I want to talk about all of them. Also, you know what thing? One thing they really do is really cool. They have because Canada is on indigenous land, they have
Hmm.
like a land observance in the beginning. So they bring in like
Oh,
indigenous people and they do like a little ceremony. They say a prayer, and they do like a dancing, like a Native American dancing. So cool. It was so cool, and it's just a thing of saying like, hey, uh thank you for letting us use your land. It's on Treaty 6, and like it's just so cool to pay respects that way. I think that's really cool. I
yeah,
I,
no,
I really, really love that.
that's
Um,
amazing. Quite frankly, like I'm glad
yeah,
they're doing that.
yeah. And then they had a Quran recitation by this guy named Yunus, and then some spoken word by a young lady named Yusra Ali. Really, really great. Definitely loved it. The dancing was called grass dancing. It was so cool. I have a video of it. It's super, super cool. And then they had a host called Hassan Fills. Hassan Fills is a comedian. He's half Jamaican and half, I believe, damn, wow, Somalian, I believe. I think he's a Somalian.
We'll fact
Um,
check that later.
yeah, and then the mayor was there. The mayor was like, "Hey, we decree uh, October 14th official Mosquers Day." So like they actually make it a day, which I thought
Wow.
was
Yeah.
pretty cool. So really, really cool. All right, so let's talk about some of the movies because I want to talk about this. Let's see. What are all the movies? All right. So the first movie, it's called Sweet Refuge. All right. And you're like, okay, cool. It's a short story, whatever. It's gonna be low budget, whatever. Um, the actor in it is whatchamacallit, the Imam from Miss Marvel, the guy from Rami.
Oh my god.
He's like the star of this short film.
Okay.
And like I'm just like, what? Where did like how did this happen? So
That's
it's
cool.
such a cute story. It's about a guy who comes from Syria, and he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have anything, but he used to be a baker. So he's like, whatever, I'm going to bake baklava, right? And like Syrian baklava using walnut and honey. And he basically goes and tries to sell it. He like wakes up early in the morning, makes it, puts it in a basket, and then like goes door to door selling it, right? Like, and who's gonna buy baklava door to door?
Right,
Um,
yeah.
and then he ends up finding this Indian lady who runs a laddu stand outside of a CrossFit.
Oh, snap?
Yeah. So basic, and then what he does is like, oh, he like, well, she's doing it here, I'm gonna do it here too. And then they start having a little beef with each other, and they start like having a little bit of a fight. And it's just like it's done so well. It's done so well. And the thing is, like, she's like convincing people not to have the baklava because, like, hey, you're at a CrossFit, and like you shouldn't be eating with all this like honey and all this sugar, refined sugar, and all this stuff. And like the guy's like, no refined sugar. He's like, it's all honey.
Natural honey.
It's natural honey. It's super healthy for you, which is not. But the laddu the lady makes was like protein laddus with no sugar. So like they kind of have this beef, but then they run into each other at a grocery store, and she kind of feels a little bad for him. So she's like, hey, listen, I became the laddu lady because my 12-year-old niece made me go viral. Uh, so she started showing him how to do like viral videos. And it's just so sweet. He's like learning how to do viral videos, and he's just this old man, and it's just so sweet. And they have this little friendship, and it's so cute, man. It is such a good like little short story. I cried because like this old man, like he was getting like shut down by everybody. Then he found this like friendship. It's so cute.
Oh, they didn't get married?
No, they're just like bestie. They're just like
Okay.
they were like rivals, and now they're like helping each other. And like that's what you got to do, man. You got to help each other out, even if you're rivals.
I'm actually really glad I didn't go the marriage route because I would have been like, that is so corny and so
No,
overdone.
no.
This is refreshingly good. I like that.
Yeah, I like the platonic friendship and like like enemies to like supporters. I like that. It was really really good. Very different.
Yeah,
Um,
Polar Knights in the comment was like, hey, is this like a sci-fi movie where they fall in love? I'm like, you took the words right out of my mouth.
No, no, no. The next one is called Old Young Crow. Now, this one is like mostly animation, and it's just done
Ooh.
so well. It's like it goes back from real life to animation, and it's like a story of an old man telling a story. Uh, and he basically, when he's young, he basically goes to the gravesite because it's right next to his school, and he does a lot of drawings there. And there is this crow that always comes and sits on his grave. And I don't want to give too much of this one away because it is like a little bit of like a twist at the end, but it's a very very good story, and it won the best technical whatchamacallit production, basically. Like it was done really well. The animation is so cool because it's done through like pictures and stuff, and it's just really cool, like crayon pictures and uh all this different types of like artistry. It's really really cool. But I don't want to give any much more away for this one because it is a cool little twist at the end, and I don't want to ruin the twist for you guys.
I wish we can like somehow do a screening of this, like just one night,
Yeah,
and just have people watch with us. Like I would love to see all of these movies because these sound
yeah,
amazing.
they're so good. And they're only 15 minutes long. We could do them all in one episode, and we could do like a watch with Neebs, like a legit one. Um, okay, the next one, oh my god, this one is really good too. I don't know, man. I feel like crying whenever when I tell these stories because they're so sweet. They're really like really good. This one is called Lemons. So basically, what happens is like this
Ooh.
woman goes shopping, and she had the study group coming to her house to study for a test. So she was like, okay, cool, I'll make like food for my study group. And she goes to the store to get lemons, and one lady accidentally puts her food on top of the lemons. So when she goes through the groceries and she gets home, she realized she forgot the lemons. So she's like, "Oh no,
Mm.
I don't have enough time. Let me go to my neighbor's house and ask for some lemons." She just moved in there and she's living on her own for the first time, right? She opens the door. Is this white guy, blonde guy, and he's like super racist, and he's like, "No," and he shuts the door on her. And then she walks away, and the guy's mother opens the door, and she's like, "Sweetie, what do you need?" And then she's like, "Oh, I just wanted some lemons." So she gives her some lemon, right? And then she makes the food for her friends. And then she decides, you know what? This lady was nice enough to give me lemons. I am going to make her some of these like grape leaves, and I'm going to return her dish, because in our culture, we don't return a dish empty. You return a dish
Correct. Yeah.
full.
Always.
So she goes to that person's house. The guy opens the door, and she goes, "Hi, I borrowed this." And he's like, his mom's like, "Who is it?" And he's like, "It's that girl who takes things from us all the time." Right? He was being a dick.
Mm.
And then she goes, "Here, I made this for you guys because we do not, return a dish empty. We return it full." He goes, "Oh, well, in our culture, we return it clean."
Wow.
Right? He's like a complete dick. Uh, and then like, she ends up like building a friendship with this guy's mom. And you realize the guy isn't like super racist, but he's just dealing with a lot, because you learn throughout the movie the mom has a medical condition.
Okay, I get how that's cute, but at the
Yeah.
same time, he's still racist. I don't care
Yeah,
what anybody says.
but something happens to the mom. The girl kind of, comes to the rescue, and he kind of like, he learns his lesson, and he becomes
Okay,
like a better
okay,
person.
okay,
It's
better.
it's
Okay,
it's
yeah,
it's really heartwarming at the end. It's really really sweet.
it's a
I
great
I,
story.
I don't I
Okay,
don't want to give too much away, because number one, I'll start crying, and number two, it's just, I don't want to give too much away. It's really really good. Really really love lemons. It was so good, and like food always makes people like friends, man. Doesn't matter
mm-hmm.
how racist somebody is. Like, you share food, and it'll automatically like bring you together.
Yep, always gotta soften up by food.
Yes, Polar Nights. You're 100% right, man. Soften people up by food. Uh, the next movie is called Daisy Standard Time Travel.
I've heard a lot about this one.
Yes. So this is fantastic. This movie won the audience award. So people got to vote, live votings, and this won the audience award. Basically, what it's about is this guy. He's always annoyed that his dad calls him, and he's always like, "Oh, well,
Okay,
when like, he's always like, when I'm not here, then you'll miss my calls and stuff like that, right?" So this guy's like building
as
a crib.
always.
He's building a crib, and his dad's like, pestering him and telling him how he's doing stuff wrong on the phone. They're like, on the phone. And then basically, in the next scene, you find out that his dad actually passed away.
Damn.
So, but his dad bought time travel insurance.
Okay.
So he's like, so it's called short time travel insurance. So the guy goes he gets a phone call from this place, and he's like, "Hey, your dad has the policy. Come here. You only have a short amount of time to pick up this policy." So he goes there, and he goes, "What's short time travel insurance?" And the lady's like, "It's not short time travel insurance. It's short time travel insurance. Basically, we get to take you to a point in time where you can go back and talk to your father and like tell him what you didn't get to tell him,
Damn. And it's
right?
only one time, or like?
Just one time. He has 4 hours because his dad bought the short term.
Oh,
He didn't buy the long term.
bro, that's so hard. Like,
Yeah.
then the obvious answer would be obviously at the very end, but like, Otherwise, you could
Wait,
have
wait,
gone through
yes,
so many
yes,
other periods.
yes,
Like,
yes. Jazz, you're getting ahead of ourselves. All right. So, so he's like, okay, cool. I'll just go back in time before my son was born, right? Because his son was like his dad died like a week after his son was born. So he's like, okay, I'll just go back before my son was born, and that way I can say everything I wanted to him, and it's like recent. Um, Basically something went wrong in the Honda Civic, which is not it wasn't a DeLorean, it was a Honda Civic that they souped up into a time machine.
oh, I'm here for it. The Honda
Yes,
Civic was my first car, so I love it. I'm
yes.
here for it.
And their Doc Brown was like a Punjabi kid, like a Sikh Punjabi kid. He's just speaking hardcore Punjabi. And he goes like, I don't give a fuck, man. He's like, this is what it said on the slip. So basically the slip made a mistake. Instead of right before his son was born, he accidentally went in time before his dad's son was born, meaning before he
Oh,
was
when he was
born.
born. Wow.
Yeah. So he goes and visit, and he ends up chickening out, but he somehow his dad finds him and he invites him in, and they have like a really sweet father son moment. It's so good.
Don't give it away.
It's so
I
good.
might
It's
start
so good.
crying.
It's so good, man. It's so good. And the fact that so many people like this movie, it may become a full feature film, is what I'm
I
hearing.
hope it does. Like, I would love to see it. I joke that, Neebs, you're my best friend, and you kind of
Besties.
are. But like real talk, my dad is my best friend, and so
Yeah.
like I really want to see this movie because I have that kind of bond with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I want to see with him.
It definitely got me too. A lot of people were like, yeah, their dad's passed away recently. My dad's going for heart surgery in 2 weeks, so scary for me. Um,
Oh damn, dude.
Prayers will be appreciated, by the way, if anyone wants to send prayers and good
For
vibes.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a great movie. It's by Kashif Basa, who I also asked to be on my podcast, and he said, yeah, sure. So we can have him come on the show and we can talk about this movie too.
I
Um,
hope I can get a screener.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing is, the actor who plays like the son did such a great job. He won the Best Actor award at that film festival.
Wonderful news.
Yeah, yeah. So really, Daisy Standard Time Travel was great. And if you don't know, Daisy Standard Time is when you invite a person and they're like an hour late. That's called Daisy Standard Time.
An
Uh,
hour, 2.5 hours. Sorry.
2.5 hours. So Daisy Standard Time Travel is a play on words for that. So once it Honda Civic is the first clue. It's a Pakistani sci-fi film. That's so true.
Yeah,
That's so
and then
true.
Rabs was sending duos for your dad. So thank you,
Thank
Rabs.
you, thank you. Next one was Fitria. So Fitria, I don't want to give too much away, but it's more like a documentary style, and it was about a Muslim women's basketball league. So
Cool.
it was really,
I'm in.
really, yeah, it's really cool. It's like a documentary style, and it talked about how it came together, and it talked about how people from there met, and how they come from different backgrounds, and how they wear the hijab and they play, and like how the hijab is their crown, and it's just a really cool film. I really liked it. I thought there were some scenes in the end of that were really like some of the interviews that they were giving were really right on. It was super cool. And very empowering. And I hope these people, they're still looking for a space for like Muslim women to play basketball and have like a league and stuff. So hopefully they get that. So this one was like a documentary. It wasn't more of a story, but it was like a documentary.
Cool. I'm in. Let's go watch it.
Yeah. Next, next, this movie won the local film award. So it was called
Okay.
the
I'm guessing it
the
was recorded in Canada then, right?
yeah, in Alberta. Yeah, it was called the Refund Department. And Jazz, you and me always make fun of this, but you know how they have those like Indian scams where like, do not redeem, do not redeem, do not redeem. So basically, this short film was about two cousins who go into the scheme, and it kind of just like plays on like how they got into the situation, how greed played a role in it, and how they had really bad I would say conclusions for this movie, right? And they end up hurting people, and they realize they hurt people in a very unique way. So it was a cool movie. It's a little bit of a comedy, but what I like about it, and I talked to the director of it, Wasif Hasib. He goes like, when it comes to making movies like this, we want to be the ones telling the story. We don't want like some white person telling a story about Indians and call centers and stuff like that, and them just using it to rip on us and stereotype us and make us look horrible, right? Instead, this movie kind of like makes you see like how greed sets them up, how greed gets to them, and how their situation and environment all leads to it, and how they try to get away from it sometimes and they can't, and how sometimes they end up hurting the people they love. I don't know. I thought it was pretty well done. It was really, really cool. I It won the local award, so like, they were part of the incubator program, which is really cool, because what Mosquers does is like, if there are local people in the Alberta area, they will have an incubator with them, where they will help them make movies and give them like skills and give them like tips and tell them how to write, tell them how to make movies. So it's really cool that they got to use all that and then make a movie.
I kind of want to like. I wish I could go back in time and go to Mosquers.
Bro, I wish you were there, man. You would have loved it. You would have so much fun.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like work, man. I swear to God, like we had 2 new contracts this week, so
I know, I know.
it's rough.
The next movie is a movie that won the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. It was called Eid Mubarak, and it was by a lovely woman named Manora Yusuf. And she is this Pakistani lady from Karachi. And this movie is fantastic. I don't know what their budget was, but I assume they had the highest budget of anybody on this thing, because it looked like a Pakistani Wes Anderson film. It was so well done. Like the colors, like like they went to
They could
Pakistan.
afford color grading.
They went to Pakistan and filmed in the heat with child actors that they just like found. I assume they just found. Fantastic.
Slightly problematic.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Now that you think about it, right?
I mean, I assume they found, because they look like legit, like they just like live there. I don't know. Their Urdu was amazing, but who knows? So the story is about this young, privileged Pakistani girl and her sister, and they go and they pick out a goat. But unbeknownst to the younger sister, the goat is for Eid.
Oh no!
So for those of you that don't know, in Eid you sacrifice the goat, and then you use the meat of the goat and you give it to the poor and the needy.
Well, 1/3 goes to the poor, 1/3 goes to your friends and family, 1/3 you get for your family. Yeah, but
Yeah.
oh my God.
So this girl is like hanging out with this goat, and she thinks she has a new pet, and she's like in love with it, and she takes it for walks and stuff like that.
Oh
And
no!
and she named the goat Burfi. Super cute. This girl is a great actress, fantastic. But then she's like realizes that they're going to eat Burfi, they're going to eat him. So she comes up with this plan to free him, to help him run away.
Okay. One thing I do want to say before I lose my train of thought, because this movie just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Burfi is a type of mithai, which is a sweet in our
Yes.
culture, and it's a very common name for pets. Like think like cookies and cream, like or like cookies, like what you would call like a cat or
Yeah.
something, right? Like it's
Cookie.
very similar to that.
Or Oreo. You would call a cat
Oreo, yeah, Oreo
That's
would be
what
good, yeah.
Oreo is a very typical name for a cat, like especially like a black and white cat.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's
absolutely.
very common to name an animal Burfi, and so
Yeah. So it's really cute, and she devises plan, and it's really cute. It's really funny. And then there's these like 2 poor girls in town, and they like help her with the escape and stuff like that. And then like she learns the value of like the fact that this meat actually helps the poor and stuff like that too. So she learns a little bit about that, but it's really, really fun. And then like when you just gotta watch it. She starts calling her family murderers.
We all had that vegetarian vegan phase. I mean, I did it too.
I still don't eat goat. I had to they made me become friend with the goat. They made me ride the goat. And then
Okay,
they
that's just cruel.
right, and then they killed it, and then like I remember just like crying because my friend is like dead, and everyone's eating him, and I wouldn't eat him, and like to this day I don't eat goat. I don't eat goat.
No, I get that. Like, I actually do go slaughter my own animals every now and then, just so like, it's so convenient when we can like go to a supermarket and get like chicken or beef. It's
Yes,
like,
yes,
we don't have to see the grisly reality of it. I don't
yes.
believe it's ethical enough. So like, I actually do go do it just so like, I know where my food's coming from, and I'm thankful
Yep,
for it. I'm grateful for it.
yep.
I do thank the animals and all that. So like, it makes me feel slightly better.
I
But
totally agree with that. I totally agree with
yeah,
that. It's the only problem is that it happened in my young age and it was
yeah,
traumatic. But like as I'm older, like I honestly believe everyone should kill their own meat. Honestly,
absolutely. If you're
I
gonna
feel
eat
like you
meat, you
shouldn't be.
should.
I feel like the fact that like meat is so accessible, people take it for granted, and like all should be eating less meat. I don't like you don't have
Oh,
to be a
100%.
vegetarian, you don't have to be vegan, but we should definitely be eating less meat because like if you like there's no face to it. Like you have to like understand the animal's sacrifice, right?
Mm-hmm.
This animal is sacrificing its life for you. And like you can't appreciate it unless you see it.
Yep.
And I think that's really cool. I mean, it sucks that they make you do it when you're so young and it's traumatic. But when you're older, like a teenager, like you should see it. You should
How
be like,
young were you?
oh, I was a baby. I was like,
Dude, what the shit?
I was like 6'5". I don't know.
No, what?
Yeah, I was like 6. I was a baby. I wasn't even in
Bro, I
first grade.
started when I was 16.
No, I was like a baby. What do you think I meant when I said they make me ride them?
Like, I'm
I'm
thinking
not
maybe
riding.
like 12 or
I'm
like
not riding
11
a
or
goat.
something.
I'm not riding a goat as a teenager. I was a fatty.
But 6? Like,
Yeah, I was 6. I was probably like between 5 and 6.
oh my God.
Yeah. And and
No
and and,
comment.
and you know what the best part is? It's a true story because at the end credits they show the director and her childhood videos and they like match and they're like the goat being slaughtered in the background and like her and her sister standing in front of it and her like super pissed off. It's so funny.
Aw.
It's so cute. I loved it. I love that movie. In fact, I voted that one. I thought Daisy's Standard Time Travel was gonna win the whole thing. So like I went out of my way and voted for Eid Mubarak to win that what you call it, audience choice because I thought it was just fantastic. I love it. The colors were amazing. The actors were amazing. The point of the movie, like they actually go and explain that like food animals being sacrificed for you is something that we should appreciate and we shouldn't take for granted. And like
Absolutely.
the fact that you see it from a child's like viewpoint like really colors this like you know like value in like your mind when you see it. It's really cool. I love this movie. The ending is it's interesting, but you'll like it. So these were all the movies
I feel like
from
I
the
could appreciate it as somebody who does, kill my own meat every now and then. So
yeah.
like, I
If,
don't know if it'd be for everybody.
I think like everyone's supposed if you have a kid, you're supposed to take your kid to it. And like I think they have the what are they
At a
Akika?
certain age, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's usually after like puberty and whatnot. So like, or like
Yeah.
right when it's puberty starting. Like, you don't do it
No,
at
you do it.
6.
I thought you do it when they're born. There's like
You do it. You
but
do
they don't
one
do
when they're
it.
born.
Like
Right? They
like
don't do
their
it, but
parent does it. They don't do it.
yeah,
The parent
correct.
does it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all the movies. I do want to talk about there were some artists. There's an artist from Iraq, his name was Narsi. He was really, really cool. And then there was this one guy. Here it is. His name was Kareem Jabari, and he is a world-renowned calligraphy light artist.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
I don't know, but it's so cool. So basically, he takes a camera, and you're in complete darkness, and he puts the camera on like what's that thing where you put the camera and it like slowly takes pictures or something like that,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
right?
It's the exposure time. You
Exposure
increase it like
time.
all.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Changes the exposure time, and then he uses lights to make these amazing backgrounds for you, and then he uses lights to write calligraphy in Urdu or Arabic. And the best part was at the after party, everyone could get one. So like
That's cool.
I waited in line and he made me like a red Jedi one. So he made it look like, I was like a red Jedi. And then he wrote my name in Arabic with calligraphy. And it just looked so badass. It's so cool. I can't wait till I get it in the email because it's gonna be super cool.
Yeah. By the way, the reason why that name sounds so familiar, and I can't believe I didn't immediately say it, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Oh,
who's one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
oh, duh. Wait.
Right? Like, I was like, why does that name sound so
Oh yeah.
familiar?
It's spelled very differently than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but I get what you're saying. It's Kareem
Yeah, it's
Jabari.
like right there. Yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny. But that was a Mosquers Film Festival. It was a lot of fun. I went to the after party, and the only thing I didn't like at the after party was this weird ass pizza that they have, and that's because I'm from New York, and like I was like, don't you dare try to pass this off as pizza. But
Oh yeah,
everything
of
else,
course. For you, it's low melt mozzarella, and that's it, right? Like,
that's how we
god
do.
damn you guys.
That's how we do. Um,
Detroit pizza's better.
Sure. I actually do. I do like Detroit pizza. I'm not gonna lie. Detroit pizza is pretty good.
I knew you can't deny that one.
Detroit pizza is pretty solid. Like
Yeah, it's
I've
my
had
favorite.
it is pretty solid. All right. But that was the Mosquers Film Festival. It was really cool, man. They put all of these movies were amazing. Like I feel like when they're available, we'll let you guys know. We'll have these people on our podcast and we'll talk about it. It's so wild to me because like just like a year ago, we had like nothing. We had absolutely nothing. And then we had We Are Lady Parts, Miss Marvel, Polite Society, and then we have all of these movies that just came out at the Moscow Film Festival. Then we got the one our friend Anissa is doing called
Hmm.
Criteria Kya Hai, and then we have another one our friend Nida Chaudhary is doing called Anxious. Uh, Dude, there's so much talent. It's like exploding right now. It's such an amazing time to be a Muslim artist right now, and there is such cool, amazing content coming out. And some of this content is not just like, oh, it's good because we don't have anything better. Like this is like some of these movies are like could compete with like regular Tribeca and Sundance movies because they're that damn good.
Amazing. Like, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive, bro. What a
As we
time.
say, when this whole episode started off with something so depressing.
I know. That's what I said. Like, it took a lot of cognitive dissonance for me to enjoy the event. And you know what? It was brought up a lot though. Like they had Palestinian flags in the events, in the musical. A lot of the speeches, people, made sure to, talk about Palestine a little bit in their speeches when they got. So it's not like people forgot about it. But they did want to take a chance to celebrate ourselves also. And it was a very difficult thing to do, but the event did a great job of navigating that space.
Yeah. Um, as always, it's a hard time for everybody. If you have Palestinian friends, please check on them. If you have Israeli friends, check on them too. They are also going through it. Um, if you need to take a break or need therapy, please find the right help for it because, yeah, it's rough out there. And I myself am going through it. I will be going through therapy this week at some point. I just recommend that for everybody because, yeah, it's just a really rough time.
It is a very rough time right now, and I don't know, man. Don't see it getting better. Which is
Yeah,
the worst
I just
part.
feel
It
helpless with it all.
doesn't feel like there's an end in sight.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like just the other day, we've been being so supportive of like SAG-AFTRA, and I've been doing no TikToks, and we've had no actors on here, and SAG-AFTRA was like, we support Israel, and said nothing about Palestinians, and we're like, what the fuck, man? We've been supporting these guys, and I sent Jazz an email like, yo, Jazz, I'm gonna start posting again. I'm super petty right now.
Yeah, but you can't, man. Like, it
Can
sucks. I
I?
get it,
Can
but we
I?
must stand firm with the unions. Like,
But yeah, I don't know how petty I am.
like I know, man. I know. I
I'm
understand.
so mad at SAG-AFTRA.
Like, I mean, I hope they do make a statement about the Palestinians at some point
It's not
too.
like they made it when the whole Hamas thing happened. They made it like weeks later, after
It's
Gaza
only been a
was,
few days, my guy.
oh well, sorry. I mean, it's been a week, right?
I guess it
Yeah.
feels like it's only been. It wasn't weeks though. Like,
Okay, it wasn't weeks, but it was a week.
yeah,
They could have posted it a week ago, but no, they posted it like yesterday, which is like Gaza while Gaza is under siege. Like timing,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't
it's
know.
rough. I get it, man.
I'm super disappointed in like a lot of our Muslim celebrities, to be honest with you. Like I haven't seen any of them say anything worthwhile. I've seen more Jewish people
Okay,
stand up
I can name
for
two who have posted a lot of good things. Our
who?
boy Sagar Sheikh from
Well, yes, he
the
has.
him and Mo Emmer.
I've seen from those two, but like I don't think like I love them. I love both of them. I don't. They're not the people I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of like the big name ones, the one that have made it and have like a huge following.
Sorry, in my mind they are big names.
I mean, like, where's the Hassan Minaj like tweet? This guy made a show called Patriot Act, and then he made comedy specials using emotional truths. And now when you have like real things happening, he's just like reposting things said from
Other people,
Bernie
like he
Sanders.
definitely could have posted something by himself. Yeah,
He had a whole show about it. I don't know.
right. Yeah.
I'm a little. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I get it, man. A lot of people have that criticism about him, and I'm with you on that one. I expected more from him too.
Right? It's
And then
I
who
don't know.
else? Like that's the other thing. Like who else is there?
Rami. Well, I haven't heard anything about from Rami.
Yeah, that's true.
He's legit. He's literally Palestinian.
Wow, I think
He
more of Sagar than I think of Rami.
right. His last season he went to Israel to film.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't know. I don't know.
See, this is what I
Maybe,
mean.
maybe
If
the
you're a good
information I'm
actor, you do
missing.
a good job. In my mind, you're better. So Sagar, you're better than Rami right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love Sagar, and he's posting a lot of great stuff. But
yeah,
it's the people we expect to be there for us are not really being there for us. And I'm grateful that there's a lot of like Jewish celebrities that are actually standing up. Like I've gotten more information from Jewish celebrities than I have from Muslim celebrities, and shout out to them. I don't know.
yeah. There's this one Jewish writer. She's from Houston. Uh, she's been just all over the place. Like, and
Yeah.
she's done such a great job. Like I just started following her. Unfortunately, I don't know her name like memorized, but like she's new to me. But like she's great. So
Yeah, there's getting a lot of stuff from Jon Stewart, of course, and there's a lot of other people. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is a tough episode to film, man. Hopefully we made you guys, we got to really, distract you guys a little bit with all of these amazing movies. But I don't know. It's a rough week, man. But you know what? The show will go on. We will do our reality show stuff tomorrow. We will do Loki probably tomorrow too. Maybe we'll do a doubleheader because we got to catch up a little bit. And then back to our regular, regular stuff we're always posting.
yeah. Oh, and shout out to our boy Richard Sepulveda, who was here for our Game of Thrones series. He just messaged me, checking up on me like after my feelings of post 9/11. So, shout out to you, Richard. Thank you, man.
Richard's the best. Shout out to him. All right, guys. I wish we had a little more energy in this episode, but hopefully I got to describe these short films. And once these short films are available, we will share them with you so you guys can watch them. They'll probably be up on YouTube. They're all 15 minutes long, so they're not super long. By the way, on the way here, I actually watched Polite Society again on the plane. And
Did it
like,
get better?
I didn't even watch it. I just put it on. And like I wasn't even listening to it. I just wanted it to get recognition. I don't know. I just wanted it to get
Get the
plays.
Nielsen numbers up.
Get the airplane Nielsen numbers up. Yeah, for sure. And like people around me were watching. They're like, "What is this?" They were all asking me what it was, and I was like, "Oh, it's Polite Society. It's about a Pakistani girl. She wants to be a stunt actress." And they're like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" So I converted like 3 people, just by
Solid.
having it on the airplane. Me doing my job.
Hey, man, we do what we can.
We do what we can. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, guys. Salaam, nerds.
Peace.